Hmm. Good morning, guys. Today, we are going to discuss what is the concept of internet addiction. Also, is there an age limit for internet addiction?
Well, I think the main concept of internet addiction is that a person spends too much time on the internet and becomes dependent on things like internet for a long time.
I agree, but I think there is no age limit for internet addiction. But in the recent years, many news reports have pointed out that internet addictions is becoming younger and younger, meaning that children as young as 3 to 4 years old now have the chance to become addicted to the internet.
Why is it easy for a person to become addicted to the internet?
Well, for me, I believe it's due to the social environment and family upbringings that leads to it.
No, I think being prone to internet addiction is not only caused by those external reasons, but the internal reasons are also quite important. You cannot have one without other.
For example,
The external causes are the social environment and the influence of family education, as just mentioned by Hunter. The factors caused by the lack of certification and unique personality trait by itself.
I searched of 4 major types of the modern internet addictions, such as pornography, online relationships, online shopping, and game addiction.
Yes, indeed. And these four main major internet addictions are by far the most familiar and risky things.
At the same time, the main motivation of modern young people is that nowadays most of the social environment is the era of electronic intelligence, and everyone needs a smartphone, computer, and another for unnecessary work.
oh, in addition, due to the epidemic this year, students have to attend classes at home, so they have to use smartphones and computers to conduct online classes and complete online assignments.
I think the reason why most students fall into internet addiction is because
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. And I would like to add up some other points actually. Okay, just like Melody just said now, okay, because of students' needs to study at home, there is less contact with friends, and which leads to sense of emptiness and reliance on the internet satisfaction.
I really totally agree with you. Children nowadays more frequently use their smartphone to communicate to each other.
Yes, right. So Yin, you may continue. Thank you.
anything. Well, I think the main reason why most students fall into internet addiction is because their family environment very strict and cause children in a pressure.
Other than that, some students with poor learning ability turn to the internet because they do not get recognized by others, as well as some introvert students lack initiative and interpersonal skills and so on.
So, what is the best way to prevent internet addiction?
Well, first, I think we can organize a public lectures for school.
The school should make the time for the teacher to come and share the proper knowledge of using the internet, which can make the student have some knowledge about the internet.
Oh, and when the students have the right knowledge about the use of the internet, they will not overuse the internet and lead to addiction.
That does make sense.
Next, government can encourage schools to organize outdoor activities.
As more and more reports are recently coming out about the increasing number of students suffering from internet addiction, the government must take some action.
Well, for example,
Let me explain about that. In order to distract people from the screens, the government encourage that schools should also be involved as a role model. Schools should organize outdoor activity to discourage addiction to the internet.
Meanwhile, students will spend less time on screen.
I agree with that. And what are the examples of the outdoor activities?
Jungle Jackie.
oh, have a campfire maybe.
While camping,
Oh yeah, obviously.
and maybe hold some events such as sport day, clean up school, and much more.
These are great ideas you guys have. Let us move on to the next point. The next point I would like to discuss is I think can limit the use of devices.
Since technology are very advanced in this day, parents will set a timer on their smartphones so the kids don't get addicted to the internet.
How do you prevent that?
For example, parents will limit the amount of time that kids can use the internet to the half an hour in day. Once they accept that, they can continue using it.
Like iPhone and Android, right? There's a system that could calculate daily average usage, like they call screen time. Yes.
Exactly. Through this way, children will have more free time to spend in other areas instead of wasting it in front of the screen.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, I almost forgot. While students playing online games, right, they are often attracted by the game's value package, right? They start paying money for the items in the game. So because of they doesn't have any self-control.
Yeah, that's why parents don't like to expose their kids to online games, in addition to spending their hard-earned money all the time and getting addicted.
Some game companies will show some games that require money to continue playing, referred as a pay to win.
But why they want to spend their money on the game?
It is because they want to become more powerful in a short period of time, as well as for self-certification or to show off to the outside world.
And this is why China must implement the novice or prevent minors from being addicted to the online games, because it effectively curbs minor addiction to the online game and the attention consumption.
Oh, but how does it work?
Oh, about that, when students register online game user account, they must carry out a real name registration system so that they can strictly control minors' use of online game periods and hours.
In addition, they can also regulate the provision for paid services by minors. It effectively strengthens the supervisor of the industry. Okay, explore the implementation of age-appropriate promoting system. Okay, and they can effectively guide parents, schools, and other social forces to fulfill their responsibilities of guardianship for minors.
All in all, to help students stay away from internet addiction, it takes the combined effort of families, school, and society to succeed. Can you guys analyze what does they have to do to be successful?
Firstly, for the enterprise, they should not neglect the social responsibility while pursuing the economic benefit, and should stretch their awareness of responsibility from the legal perspective to extend the protection of minors from the front end.
Yes, right. And secondly, for the regulation authorities, they should strengthen the rigid constraints in the systems, plug those holes that leads to internet addiction for minors, and source the sources, and use the variety of means to manifest all the authorities of rules or laws.
And finally, for families and schools to strengthen guidance and education to help children to achieve healthy internet and the proper use of the internet.
You guys are all right. Network technology is a double-edged sword. Naturally, they are good and bad. As long as they are used properly, then it will be benefit for a lifetime. On the contrary, it will lead a person gradually toward the road no return.
Right. Only by joining hands and working together, we can effectively prevent and control them from the problem of addictions and create a clear cyberspace for the students.
So anyway, thanks guys for such a wonderful and clear discussion for today. Thank you.